good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the Trans Nation eSports Sunday night coverage coming at you from the one and only Bahrain International. Well, that's not Bahrain International Speedway, but I am Stu, joined as always this evening by Michael Garone Jr. Mike, how is it going? Yeah, I am definitely excited for that as well. Just experiencing a bit of a technical difficulty here. So that's. But it does not last long because Tech Sports Stu is on the case here. A little bit of a hiccup there, but thankfully we got it sorted out. Brett, no more messing with the settings, buddy. um, but yeah, we find ourselves here in beautiful, beautiful Bahrain. Um, and and Mike, as we head into this round two of the championship, we see a couple drivers heading out on track. It's expected, I imagine, it's going to be a perfectly dry race. What are your thoughts here on this Bahrain International Raceway? Or it's not International Raceway. I don't know why I keep calling it that.
Yeah, well, if it rains here, I think we all better go to the local convenience store and buy a lottery ticket because I think the chance of you winning the lottery is higher than getting rain here. But one of my favorite tracks, one of the few tracks in the season you'll see where overtaking is pretty easy. I mean, if you look at the track map, if you got it up, Stu, it straights everywhere. I mean, so many opportunities to overtake. So that should be exciting for us. Looking at the competition, we saw our 3 or 4 guys kind of make their name for themselves last week, and we're going to have an eye on them as this qualifying goes on, and then once we head into the race.
Yeah, it's just getting word here. It's going to be a nice dry with a little bit of cloud cover, perhaps, but not anything that should be concerning to the drivers here. And as you said, yeah, this Bahrain track will. There's lots of good passing opportunities around here. 3 very long straightaways, which all well, three long straightaways. We also have. I guess you could even tack in the 4th, the one there in Sector 2, just after turn 10. That's a decent little straight as well. So lots of straight line speed is required here if you want to have a fast car that's capable of passing, but it's also a fine balance of being able to get the. It's a fine balance of being able to get enough downforce for those corners. So, as we see, there's a couple drivers out on track. We don't have anybody who's set a flying lap yet. I think Whizbang, that is Aaron Boland, I believe he is going to be our first, as he's going to cross the start-finish line and put up a 128.174 in that AlphaTauri to get us underway here in qualifying. So that is certainly very good. Good to see. Should see a couple more guys here about to cross the start-finish line, but let's see. First night race of the season too, Mike. You know, it's qualifying, as you can see, nice and dark here in Bahrain. It's going to be nice and dark for the race as well. Is there anything different that drivers need to do for these night races, or is it virtually the same thing? There's not much you have to change in the video game sense.
Yeah, I don't think there's much you have to change in terms of the way the car is going to feel. Track temp will be a little bit lower than if it was in the day. So this race kind of needs to be a night race for it to even be manageable to drive around here. They used to do this race in the day, and it shredded tires. So yeah, I guess the only thing is you're going to have a little bit more grip than you would in the day. Might have some guys throw on some cool helmet designs that are going to shine on the floodlights, but other than that, I don't think we'll see much of a difference in driving styles.
Yeah. As Aaron puts up another lap, so a double banker there for Aaron. That's interesting. As we're starting to see some times pour in, some of them are not reflective of driver pace. I believe lots of these will be heavily improved on as we motor along here. Currently, we're riding along with JD Killswitch here in the Haas. That is Jaden Howard. He is on a flying lap. Interestingly enough, Mike, we see lots of drivers opting to go onto the mediums here, or at least for this first run.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys just want to set down a solid banker lap that they could rely on if they can't get another good lap in throughout the session, but he did a 28.7, pretty good, pretty decent lap on the mediums considering where everybody else is so far.
Yeah, another one of those drivers that's on the mediums right now is Dustin Howe in that Mercedes. And Dustin is, he has a bit of a special thing going on this week that we wanted to highlight for him here. So as we follow along with Dustin here for a moment, Dustin is actually racing. He has a Thrustmaster wheel, as you can see, and he's able to manufacture or produce his own custom plates that he can attach to this wheel. So one of the special things that Dustin has done for this wheel, as you can see on stream right now, is he has this race dedicated to his late grandfather, Roy Waite. So a few things about Roy that I wanted to pass along is, of course, he was the grandfather of Dustin, and today is the 9th anniversary of his passing. And Dustin's number 21 that he races in this Monday night division is actually a hat tip to his late grandfather, who raced that car in the 70s. As Dustin did mention in the Discord, this race is for his grandpa. As it has been 9 years since his passing, and one more thing about Roy is that he was inducted into the Maritime Motorsports Hall of Fame. So I know Dustin was fortunate enough he got to head on down there. It looked like over last summer. Perhaps when COVID restrictions may have been a little bit lighter, and he got to go through the museum and see some of the old clippings of his grandpa, and he got some pictures as well. So cool stuff there for Dustin, and wish him well in tonight's race as he's racing for his grandpa. While he was doing that, he set an opening lap here of a 129.170 to start off his qualifying session. I imagine we're going to see most of these guys flip over to the soft compound, right, Mike?
Yeah, I think we'll see most of them do their real competitive laps on the soft, I think. Actually, I mean, we've seen a couple of guys out there on softs and then moving to the medium. We got Adam still in the pits, but he's looking to go out on the mediums. Same thing with Nick Mercer, Mr. Stickless. He's starting a lap on the mediums right now. So this actually might be a full-on strategy call to maybe try to start on the mediums here.
Yeah, Anthony is on a flying lap as well on those mediums. That is, of course, he has updated his PSN to be Drink Alchemy. No, that is not an energy drink that is running around there on track. That is just Anthony, as he goes to P4 on those mediums, a 127.4. So perhaps trying to qualify on those mediums. Let's see what Mr. Stickless is able to do. That is, of course, Nick. As he makes his way around this Bahrain circuit. True North Racing, Kevin Hutchison currently holding down the top spot. I believe is he on a flying lap as well? He is on a
I
flying lap,
think,
but not a proper one.
yeah, I think he just finished that lap that put him
Yeah,
to the top.
I think you're right.
We got Joseph, Klaus, Florida. He's on a lap right now, about to cross the first sector split.
Yeah, our winner from last week in Australia put on a very convincing performance there as Nick, Mr. Stickless, is about to come out of the final corner, and let's see what he can do. What does he have for these guys at the top? He's going to cross the finish line and jump up to P4 just ahead of Anthony, a 127 flat. Scurrying back down the board here to Klaus here, Joseph. He is making his way into Sector 3, or the end of Sector 2 as he begins Sector 3. Sector 3 here, I mean, it's just a ridiculous sector. It's what, 2 corners? Technically 3, but...
Yeah, only two real corners. Tricky corners, though. You really lose a lot of time in this corner specifically if you don't do it right.
He's going to come out of the final corner on those softs and cross and go to the top. A 125.5 for Joseph, and that puts him just over half a second faster than Kevin Hutchison in True North Racing. He does looks to be on top of his game here.
Yeah, we will have to see. I think Adam Kowalczykowski is going to be his biggest competition tonight, so we'll have to see what he does. He hasn't even set a lap yet. He's got to get one on the board with only 6 minutes left.
Yeah, he has just begun a flying lap. He is one of 3 drivers that has yet to set a flying lap here. You have Adam, that is Carlos in the Racing Point, and Patrick, PJBX King. They have all yet to set laps. They are all out on track right now. Carlos about to start a flying lap. Adam, Texticles, he is on a flying lap, as is Patrick. Yellow flag in Sector 2. There's a Williams that is slowing to allow a Red Bull past. That Red Bull would be DGB, and that is, of course, piloted by Greg Brody. So we see that with the a couple of drivers potentially looking to start on the mediums here, Mike. How does that affect their race strategy? I think it's pretty safe to say we're going to see lots of soft to hards here today. But if you're starting on the mediums, do you think we could potentially see like a medium soft, or do you think they're going to go medium hard?
Yeah, I think it may be these guys wanting to do a lap on the mediums and start on those. They're going to try to do... Oh, it's... Adam goes about 0.3 quicker than Joseph. 25.2. A real competitive lap right there. But yeah, I think these guys trying to start on the mediums might be looking at a 2-stop. Like you said, a medium soft, so real aggressive towards the second half of the race. It allows you to be among the quickest drivers in terms of pace towards the end, because you just got the softest compound on with the lightest amount of fuel. Yeah. Nothing a hard runner can really do to combat that. But the only trouble I find with that strategy is how far back it's going to put you throughout the first half of the race.
Yeah, you really do have to make sure that you push hard. If you're doing a 2-stop strategy, you are pushing 100% hard 100% of the time. There is no doubt about that. So we'll see what these drivers are going to be able to do here. And as we get a little bit of a lull in the action, let's just quickly take you through the driver standings as they stand up from last week. So at the top of the drivers, we do, of course, have Joseph there, followed up by Nick, Will, Kyle, Kevin, Carlos, Dustin, Anthony, Patrick, and that is Adam rounding out the top 10. Of course, with it just being one round complete, we do only have 10 drivers that have points up on the board, but hopefully we'll get to see some more of them score some points here tonight. On the constructors' side, it is Ferrari leading the way with 34 points, Williams with 25, Racing Point has 18, Renault with 12, Mercedes with 10, Haas with 2, and finally with the single point, we do find Alfa Romeo. Teams that have yet to score points, Alpha Tauri, McLaren, and Red Bull. So those teams are all going to be looking to get their first points of the season up on the board here tonight. And, a little bit unusual to see, Red Bull with no points here. And but we do have, we have Chef. That is, of course, Joshua. He is on an outlap right now looking to improve his starting position. And his teammate, Greg, is currently sitting P5 on the board. So, Mike, with 2.5 minutes here left to go in qualifying, it does look like most of these drivers, they're going to do the old switcheroo, and I think we're going to see everybody start on the softs based on tires that these drivers have fitted so far. But who you got your eye on here in the final 2 minutes of qualifying?
I mean, I want to look at both Joseph and Adam. I think they're both going to have one more lap. As I think that's Joseph coming out right now. I'm sure we'll see Adam come out within the next few seconds, but yeah, he's coming out right now. But I think the battle's going to come between these two. Can Adam do a better lap than this, potentially? And can Joseph do something to react to this and respond?
True. I'll tell you, one of the guys that I have my eye on here late in this session is Mr. Stickless. That's Nick Mercer. We know that he had pretty good pace last week. Got himself into a little bit of trouble, but we know that his pace is a little bit quicker, I think, than what he's leading on tonight. And I'm going to keep an eye on him here for his final flying lap as he motors his way around for an outlap. But who do we have on a flying lap right now? We do have Blender. That is Kyle, of course. He actually found himself in a pretty good battle there last week in that Renault. He is making his way through Sector 1 now. Greg is behind him on track. He has no ERS left. That was interesting. So he completed that lap with no ERS at the end, so I guess he ran out right at the end. But we do have Kyle is on a flyer. I didn't see if he's improving on that. Nick has just started a flying lap. There should be a little bit more time left on the board than what's displaying right now, as that is just a sort of a classic. As we see Ryan Clark, that's Nitwit, he has retired, as does Biko. So as these drivers make their way around, Klaus, that is Joseph, he is just starting his flying lap. He's going to get that in. Adam is on a flying lap, making his way through Sector 1 right now. The McLaren that's off, so that was a legitimate retirement, a legitimate crash out there for Ryan in the middle of Sector 2. Oh, Adam's out as well!
Adam.
A massive accident, I think aided by some lag, but that is not a great spot for that car to be sitting. That is right on the racing line for anybody that might be behind him. Luckily, Joseph was in front of him, and he has improved on his previous lap. So right now, going to skip on down. It looks like Nick is about to cross the line. He is 1.3 seconds up on his previous best time, so that is going to put him in the 125s if he can keep it together. He crosses and goes P2, a 125.336 for Nick.
And Joseph invalidated.
Oh, and Joseph has invalidated, so that's going to be it for him. Who else do we have on track? Anthony is on a flying lap. He will be the last driver by the looks of it to set a flyer here. He has yet to set a flyer on the softs. So what is he going to be able to do? Anthony, with the new PSN, the change to Drink Alchemy. What is that going to look like for him tonight? He is going to come out of the final corner and down the front straightaway. What can he do? He crosses the line to go P6 on a 126.108. And I believe Kyle crosses the line doing a second lap but was unable to improve. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to wrap up qualifying here for our second race of the season in Bahrain. We see a nice, a fairly wide split here tonight, which I don't know if I quite expected it to be this large. The top 10 drivers separated by 2 full seconds. That's a little bit different than what we saw the first round in Australia, Mike, but I anticipate that we're still going to see some good racing here tonight.
Yeah, I think we'll see some good racing. Our usual guys that we saw last week are up the front. Some guys potentially who can make their way up. Dustin, all the way back in 16th. I'm sure he'll make his way towards the front as this race goes on. JD's kill switch as well, I feel, could have done a little bit better than 11th. So we'll have to watch him throughout the race, see if he can make his way up a little bit. But yeah, big spread, although from first to fifth is quite close. 6/10 between your top 5, so
yeah, that is true.
That is promising.
I think some of the results of this split as well is we see some drivers that they never got a good lap in with the softs fitted. They did their banker on the mediums early and just, maybe they didn't lay down a great lap on those, and then an invalidation late perhaps, something of that nature has caused them to not have their ideal lap. But regardless, here we are about to get underway for round 2 here in Bahrain. The starting grid is set, and we are just waiting for the drivers to select their strategy when we anticipate them to pit. So the top 10 all qualifying on the softs. Mike, do you actually think, even qualifying on the softs, do you think we'll see some guys try the 2-stop, or do you think it's going to be a lot of 1-stop?
It's a tough one. It's a really tough one. I think somebody who is in a position where they have nothing to lose, I think might try it. But I think if you're straight up racing somebody else and they're going to do that 1-stop with the soft to hard, you just got to emulate it. The only problem with the 2-stop is, like you said before, every lap has to be a push lap 100%, and it's, do you trust yourself to do that throughout the whole race, as opposed to just doing 1-stop, making it nice and easy on yourself, and trusting in your pace to get the job done.
Yeah, so as we get ready here to get this Bahrain Grand Prix underway, it is time to take you through our DXT eSports starting grid. And starting in on Drink Alchemy pole position is Mr. Adam, how'd you say his last name was, Mike? Kowalczykowski. So Adam Kowalczykowski, that is Texticles. He is going to start on pole today in that Alfa Romeo. Alongside him in the Ferrari will be Mr. Stickless, that is Nick. On row 2, you find Joseph, Klaus Florida, and alongside him will be Kyle, that is Blender for Life. On row 3, you have True North Racing, Kevin Hutchison. Starting alongside him, Drink Alchemy himself, that is Anthony Flask. On row 4, we have GDB Greg Brody in the Red Bull, and starting alongside him will be Brandon in that Williams. That is Brando P31. Rounding out the top 10 on the 5th row, we do have TNE Highway, and starting alongside Kenneth is going to be Patrick. That's PJBX King. As we head outside the top 10, JD Killswitch, that is Jaden. He is going to be starting in 11th on the soft tires, and alongside him will be Aaron Bolin, that is Whizbang. Carlos will start P13 on the medium compound tire, and alongside him will be Ryan Clark, that is Nitwit. Starting 15th today is Chef Gone War. I should probably get some clarification on how you want that to be pronounced, but Joshua is going to be starting P15. Alongside him will be Dustin Howe in the Mercedes, of course, racing for his late grandfather here this evening, rocking that white helmet as well. And then finally, starting P17 and rounding out the grid, we do have Lauren Biko in the Renault. 17 drivers to start this race here tonight. Mike, do you think we'll see a lot of safety cars here tonight, or?
They can't be more than we had last Monday, so fingers crossed these guys don't have to go through that.
And it is lights out and away we go? Maybe? There we go. The cars are off and running, finally here in Bahrain, and the field spreads out very wide here, going into turn 1, 4 wide further back, as they're getting a little bit loosey into 1, 3 wide into 1, guys, simmer down. Oh, the McLaren, that's Highway Kenny, dropping back a few spots. But somehow, I think everybody made it through.
Yeah, it looked a little clumsy from that far shot into turn 1. Everybody kept it relatively straight. I think everybody kept all the end plates on it.
Yeah, and I don't know what's happened to Kenny. He's fallen like a rock here on the first lap. He's battling with his teammate right now. Oh, and there's an AlphaTauri around. Aaron Boland.
That's Aaron Boland.
Oh my goodness. So that
he gets away with no damage.
Yeah, luckily for him, as Kenny picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Not the ideal way to start the race for him, but regardless, we see most of the drivers getting away cleanly here, and those top 3 are off like a shot here. Already building up a 1.2 second lead back to Kevin in that racing point.
Yeah, this top 3, I think it's going to look very Tier 1 no assist-esque. These guys just stay in a DRS train, and they break out from everybody else, do their own thing. I think we'll see some patience early on, but as the race unfolds, I think you'll see some urgency between one of these guys.
Yeah, I think, these guys do look poised to just kind of build out their lead and try and do that, but some guys that are not building out a lead. We have a beautiful battle going on here for P9 between Brando, JD, and Carlos. They're still side by side. That's JD and Carlos. Of course, JD is Jaden. Jaden's going to get that spot, and now the racing point of Carlos is going to duke it out with Brandon. Some good racing here in a portion of the track where, I'm not really comfortable going side by side with anybody through there. Sector 1, not necessarily a great opportunity for passing, but those guys got through there cleanly. At the front of the field, though, Adam is starting to break away just a little bit from Nick. Nick has to be careful. He definitely doesn't want to let Adam, he doesn't want to get out of Adam's DRS when that gets activated, I believe, which is this lap. This lap, or at the end of this lap? End of this lap, I guess, is when it will be activated. So it's important for Nick here to try and keep with Adam. Adam, who's not really touched much of his ERS so far this race. As the two teammates continue to battle it out here for P8 now. Jaden, as you predicted, Mike, he's been a mover so far this race, currently up to P8 from his P11 starting position.
Also, Dustin's up 3 positions, up to P13. He's on the mediums as well, so interested to see what he's going to do with his strategy. As Dustin's starting to rein in Kenny.
Yeah, I think Dustin will be one to watch. Maybe not the qualifying effort that he would have wanted, but he certainly had a solid start to this race, picking up a few spots. And like you said, one of the drivers on the alternate strategy, so it doesn't take much for something to benefit him, a good time safety car, etc. And he could take could take advantage of that. At the front, though, the battle for second rages on. Joseph was able to get past Nick here and move into P2, but these two have lost the DRS of Adam in front. So Joseph looks to be stepping on it here as he wants to try and catch that Alfa Romeo and utilize that DRS. Taking a peek at the
fastest lap.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
I was just saying he sets the fastest lap while he was doing that.
So maybe benefiting a bit from a potential tow. Whoa, he had a serious moment there coming out of 2. Or I guess it's coming out of turn 1 and into turn 2. It's those first 3 corners are just kind of all merged together. But taking a look at the YouTube comments, Sebi, yes, we do read the YouTube comments, believe it or not. We see ya, buddy. We see ya.
Go ahead to see you're alive, Sebi.
Yeah, glad to see you're alive. We were worried about you, man. But you are alive and well. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 1. That's a Mercedes that's around. That's Dustin. Dustin is around. He doesn't pick up any damage. But that certainly will not help his efforts here tonight. As Joseph has tried to tone it down a little, or he's turned it back down a little bit. Not quite able to catch Adam yet. Not able to get within that DRS.
He's just outside of that window that he needs to be in, and he's got 30% ERS to play with. If he burns that up, he might get within that range, but then he's got no ERS to play with, and he's just going to fall off anyway.
And don't look.
So tough position for him to be in.
Don't look now, but here comes Anthony. He's going to go up the inside of Greg, going into 1. He's going to get that move done easily with the help of DRS. So Anthony moves up to P5. And now Greg he falls into the grasps of Kyle, Blender for life. So lots of guys looking pretty racy out here so far. This battle that's been going on between Biko and Whizbang has been going on for a few laps. They are absolutely duking it out side by side, racing here through turns 1, 2, and 3. Both of them have DRS. They are just going at it with each other. At the front, though, Klaus not able to reel in Adam yet. So maybe just trying to buy his time, manage that gap a little bit, as Aaron Bolin and Joshua are now going at it. Whoa! Joshua picks up a 3-second, and he made contact with Biko. He got a little bit loose coming out of that very difficult turn 10. And made a little bit of contact as Stickless is retired from the session. That's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Where is that?
Corner.
Oh my goodness, yeah. That's exactly where Albon lost it, as it's a virtual safety car and cars are coming into the pits here.
Kyle is the first one who was able to dive in as soon as that VSC came out. He puts on the mediums.
So he's
going to commit to a 2-stop.
Yeah, he can go medium, I guess. We do have Brandon in. We have Patrick in as well. Kenny is in.
Patrick opts for another set of softs. Brandon's going with the hards.
So one of our pacey drivers crashing out early here in Bahrain, 6 laps in. That's 2 weeks in a row where Nick has shown good pace, but you know, just he had an incident last week in Australia, and now this week, not helping out too much there. As we're back to green flag now. So we had a fair number of people come down pit road there, as there's a yellow flag in Sector 1 for Biko.
That's for Biko.
Yeah, he has flipped it around.
Get it back going.
So we saw a number of guys. Oh, yellow flag. Oh no, that's just for clearing. Number of guys came in there under that virtual safety car. We had Kyle come in. He's currently sitting P8 on those mediums, just behind Carlos and in front of Aaron Bolin. We also had Patrick come in. He opted for the softs. He is going 2-stop strategy. Brando opted for the hards. Brandon in that Williams going to the hard compound tire, so he might try and make it to the end from here. 22 laps or so. It's a fair distance to go. Kenny, TNA Highway, went for the softs. Dustin went for the hards as well, so a couple of hard takers. And then finally wrapping it up, you have Joshua, who opted to fit the soft compound tires under that safety car.
Yeah, so we have a few guys who are committing to that two-stop, and honestly, that VSC was perfect timing for those guys who did want to do that two-stop. We talk about doing that extra pit stop and how it requires you to make up a ton of time, but they've cut that first pit stop delta in half with the VSC being out. So now they're at the point where they're going to be quicker than these soft runners. These softs are at the point where they don't feel good anymore, as Greg Brody kind of exhibited right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, these soft runners are going to have to make a decision. Do I pit and just cover them off to the two-stop, or do I hold it out and trust this one-stop?
I'll tell you what else is going on here too, Mike. Greg, he has, it looks like he might have put his overtake on the formation lap, as he has that overtake button stuck wide open. And this is not a track that you want to have to be dealing with that.
No. This is probably the worst track.
Yep. Constantly stuck in overtake mode, so he's going to have initial pace out of the corner, but by the end of the straightaway, he's just going to be a sitting duck. As we see drivers come into the pits here, Joseph and Adam both coming in, opting for different strategies. Adam going for the two-stop here, it looks like. Joseph potentially going for the one-stop by fitting those hards. So we are going to see some more two-stop strategies here than I thought tonight, Mike.
And it looks like Kevin as well. He's put on the medium, so he's going to opt for the two-stop, just to exhibit how advantageous that VSC was. Kyle's right on the back of Joseph.
Yeah, he certainly is. That's a big mover there from that virtual. He was not even in the discussion here with these leaders that brief early stint of this race, and just by virtue of making a good sound strategy decision and pitting under that virtual, he is setting himself up well for the rest of this race.
Yeah, I think he's even going to have some pace over Joseph. Those hards are going to take a few laps to actually switch on. They always do on this game. Oh, excuse me. They always do on this game. They usually don't feel too good after you get about 2 or 3 laps on them. So Joseph's going to have to watch out for that Renault potentially being in his mirrors within the next few laps.
Yeah, Anthony coming into the pits here. He did assume the race lead. And as Seb pointed out in the YouTube comments, after one of the passes that we saw from Anthony, he Seb commented that he must be running Drink Alchemy in the fuel tank of that Mercedes. Don't know if that would be regulation fuel, but regardless, getting the most out of that black Mercedes here in the early going. He's gonna come out right with Patrick here. Anthony opted for the mediums, as so many others have thus far, and going for the two-stop. So I'm actually surprised at how many two-stops we're going to see take place here this evening.
Yeah, I am as well. I thought we were going to see a lot of boring soft-hard strategies. I am very happy that we're seeing this variation. It spiced things up quite a lot. So I am happy, but I am also surprised.
Yeah, good question here from Matthew in the YouTube comments here. We're looking at guys, now it's maybe not so much a question here for these guys that just fitted the hards right now, but for some of these guys that put the hards on a couple laps ago, like Dustin, like Brandon, do you think that they're going to be safe to be able to make it to the end of this race on those hards?
Yeah, I don't even know. 'Cause, yeah, they did pit a few laps earlier than I think you normally would. I think lap 9 is the lap. But I don't know. I'd like to say that the hards would be good enough to make it. It might be close though. It might be very close for them.
Yeah, that it might. We'll have to keep an eye out here as JD Killswitch is in, and he has opted for the mediums as well, so potentially going, or he has to be going for that two-stop strategy. And we have a Renault around in Sector 3. That is Biko. just getting it off the racing line here to let Joshua go by. He's back running. I don't think he picked up any damage from that. As the yellow flag now clears.
I don't know if you've noticed, Stu, but one man still hasn't pit. Carlos, he's in the lead.
Yeah.
Started outside the top 10. I think he started 11th. First man outside the top 10, and he got free choice, and he started on the mediums. He's actually going to jump a lot of these guys on the two-stop strategy because he's gained all the track position by starting on that harder tire.
Yeah, he has, and one of the things that it's going to be interesting to see what strategy he opts for. If he is going to opt to go to the hards and just try and run those to the end, you know, taking advantage right now of staying out long and doing an overcut. He's actually doing well, despite those tires being 9 laps old, in managing the gap a bit to Adam. Adam, just based on sheer pace, is slightly faster, but Carlos doing a pretty good job out there. So we'll see how long he stays out there for and what his potential strategy might be for the rest of this race. Now, one thing that it's been good to see so far, Mike, has been a lack of penalties early on in the going here. There are a couple spots around Bahrain where it can be easy to pick up penalties, but so far we've only seen a few of those handed out, and good to see that these drivers are keeping it clean around here.
Yeah, it's good to see no penalties. This is a circuit. Like you said, there are a few hot spots, but it's by no means one of the worst tracks on the game for track limits. So it's always good to see clean racing. As a competitor, it's good to race on a track where you don't have to worry about too many, let's say, questionable track limit penalties at times. So, yeah, these guys could just go for it, not worry about getting penalized for things they shouldn't.
Speaking of going for it, we see here Jaden. He's trying to get past Aaron Boland here. This is a battle for P11. The Haas and the Alpha Tauri. It is going to be Jaden that wins out in the end. Both of these drivers on 10-lap-old medium compound tires. I believe they may have got caught up potentially earlier in this race, because 10-lap-old mediums, they would have been running a little bit higher up, but they were, I believe, a couple of the drivers who pitted early on under, not the virtual, but just after early race incidents. At the front, though, the battle for the lead is about to heat up here as Adam is catching Carlos and catching him quick. Less than a second now separates the two drivers, and Joseph Klaus Florida just hanging back there in P2 or P3, sorry, on those hard compound tires. Kyle has been unable to make up ground on Joseph. He's just chilling out in P4, and there's a McLaren that is off in Timbuktu at the end of the front straightaway.
He is.
Virtual safety car has been deployed. As, man, oh man, he is off in the cabbage.
How did he get over there?
I have no idea how one would...
I can't even, I mean, I could see the dot on the mini-map, but I couldn't even see where he was. As his teammate gets a penalty as a result of the VSC.
That is not going to help him. Now, I wonder if that could be something like, it's a very heavy braking zone into one, and it wouldn't be that difficult if you are not running ABS and you... Oh, Brando gets one as well. A couple of guys getting nicked for speeding under the virtual safety car. They're going to have to come in and serve those penalties here. But I wonder if that could be just a case of, you know, if you miss, you lock up the tire a little bit, you catch a bit of the curb. If you do that, that's one of the fastest points of the racetrack, and you're not going to have very much luck stopping that. Oh, what happened there?
In a collision.
Oh,
they were both coming in to serve penalties.
Oh my goodness. Well, that is certainly not going to help. Did I see that it was another drive-through?
Yeah, I think it's another drive-through for
Oh my
for
god.
Brandon.
Actually, okay, yeah, Brandon is in the pits. That is something. But the weird thing is that. Oh, and
The car was just serviced.
yeah. So
Uh,
that's strange. That's a bug. Regardless, though, he got that pit stop in. That's good. As Stickless does say, Nick, in Discord, that he did do an Albon. Right where Albon did it. Nick, hopefully you still have a ride after this season and not going to get replaced there as Carlos comes into the pits. So he is going to come in, fit those hard. So doing the one stop, he's going to go to the end, 15 laps or so on those hards. And where's he going to come out? He did a really good job extending that first stint. And he is going to come out, I believe, in P8 here. Just behind Greg. And Klaus is he's continuing to fall off the back of Adam. So this is exactly what Adam needs to do if he's going to make that two-stop strategy work. He's got to make sure that he's pushing hard, extending that gap. And most importantly, especially since we've seen hardly anybody pick up penalties thus far, he's got to make sure that he keeps it clean for the remainder of this race. So as we cross the halfway mark of this race, let's take you through a brief race rundown here. And we will kick it off actually with a brief fact about Drink Alchemy, our newest partner here in the Transnation eSports. So what really sets Drink Alchemy apart is not overstimulating your brain, providing the alertness and the improved. Whoa, as there was a bit of that was a close call there. It looked like with a Renault going into turn one, but Drink Alchemy with its all-natural formula helps to enhance your mind using nootropics. So it helps to improve focus, memory, learning, and reaction times, which, Mike, as you know, as I know, those are all very beneficial to having a successful race. If you can't avoid lap cars like the Williams of, I believe, was that Brando? No, that was Klaus Florida. Like, he just avoided that Renault. That could have been a very different situation. But in our partnership with Drink Alchemy, they have a great product that I'm very excited to try some of myself, and very excited to have them on board. You'll notice that one of the drivers sporting the Drink Alchemy name on their PSN now, that is of course Anthony. So exciting to see him and that car driving around out on track right now. Seb, no, I'm sorry, that is not one of the promised benefits of Drink Alchemy. It cannot be guaranteed that you will improve your pace, but I suppose there's only one way to find out. We can do some independent testing on that.
Will it make us faster?
What? Yeah, what would make us faster? Is it, does Drink Alchemy make you faster, or is it, what else could we try? Put that up against. We'll have to have, we could have a bit of fun doing some tests there, I'm sure. Heck, you know what? Maybe it'll improve my my KD ratio in COD, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Does it give it? Does it give you hands? Does Drink Alchemy? No. Can it?
You know, I think we'll have to double check with Anthony on that one, but I don't think he'll. No, I don't think that's one of the benefits.
Damn it! I was really hoping. But we'll find out here. Hopefully,
you'll get there one day.
Yeah, one day. As Dustin making his way back up through the field. I mean, he got it based on a driver making a pit stop, but he's back up into P11, and there's a yellow flag in Sector 2. Was that a Red Bull? No, I think that was just one of the Renaults getting out of the way. Getting out of the way of his teammate, now about to get out of the way of Kevin Hutchison, True North Racing.
So I do believe that Brandon is now serving a second drive-through.
Yeah.
So he did a pit stop, served a drive-through, and then served another drive-through. So he's been in the pits for 3 laps in a row now.
Man,
now he's going to find himself a lap down.
That really does suck for him. You know, he was just running his own race there. I mean, unfortunately, those virtual safety cars will get you. But you know what? There's still plenty of time to go here in Bahrain. There's still 12 laps to go. A lot can happen in that time frame, and there's a bit of battling that's starting to brew on track here. Aaron Boland and the recently pitted Haas of Patrick, they are having a feisty little battle here for P8. For P9, my bad. And also, don't look now, but Kevin Hutchison is catching Kyle, so Kyle using the virtual safety car to his full benefit and is reaping the rewards of that, but currently being caught by Kevin. I think this is going to be a bit of a cat and mouse game here, as who is going to pit first and drag what's likely to be, I would think, the softs till the end of this race. We'll keep an eye on this battle as it's ongoing. At the halfway mark, or as we cross the halfway mark of this race, Mike, who do you think is looking good of these top few drivers here? We know that Adam has to make another pit stop. I don't believe he's going to be able to pull those mediums out to the end of this race. But he doesn't really, it doesn't look like he's showing the pace that he needs to be able to make that 2-stop work.
Yeah, I don't know if Adam is really doing enough right now. He's clearly got the pace over Joseph as this race has gone on, but yeah, I mean he's tried a different strategy when he perhaps maybe didn't need to, and he's gonna have to do a lot of work. He'll have to wait a few more laps until the softs will make it to the end safely, and he's not really pulling a gap anymore, so it leaves him with a little bit of time to do a lot of work. Joseph's really put himself in a good position.
Yeah, I think maybe Adam, when he comes into the pits, needs to ask for a can of Drink Alchemy. That's what he really needs. Do a nice a shoddy of that in the on the pit road and be off on his way. Just kind of like they used to do in the old-timey racing when they'd have a nice glass of champagne when they came into the pits because helped keep them sharp. I don't really know about that.
Yeah, that was the excuse?
Yeah, I think so. I think it got to the point where drivers were chugging entire bottles of champagne, so they had to put an end to that.
Put an end to that, yeah.
Darn, eh? They gave it their best shot. You know, you got to hand it to them. That takes beer league racing to the next level there, as Adam is going to pit here. I wonder if he's going to fit the softs or fit another set of the mediums. Looks like mediums are at the ready. It is going to be the mediums. So the soft medium strategy here for Adam. We'll see if that's going to be able to do it for him. He's going to have a few drivers to pass, though. He's going to come out a fair ways behind the leader, battling here with the Red Bull out of the pits. That Red Bull is actually a lap down.
That's a lap car.
Yeah. He comes out 19.5 seconds behind Joseph, so quite a bit of time to make up here for Adam, but he has 10 laps to do it. Man, 2 seconds a lap is going to be tough.
2 seconds a lap. That's a tall order.
Whoa.
That is a very tall ask.
Yellow flag in Sector 1. I think that wasn't really for anything. Yes, as Matthew Elliott says, it is a bold strategy, Cotton, and we're about to see if it works out for him. Getting past the Renault of, I presume that is Biko. Certainly not Kyle, Blender for Life, who came in and made a pit stop there as well. Other drivers that came in and made a pit stop, Aaron Boland, he opted for those softs. That is a decent amount of time to try and drag out those tires to the end of this race.
9 laps. I think he'll be able to do that quite comfortably.
Yeah.
Um, that's about just on the edge, though.
I guess.
He's on a lot lighter fuel,
Yeah.
so that'll really aid in that. I mean, he's gonna have to give it everything to get as many spots as possible.
Yeah,
But
he is.
I think he'll be all right.
Kenny getting another 3-second time penalty. That's hurting his efforts here tonight, as he looks to try and pick up a points finish. Dustin, though, I mean, like we said, he didn't have a great start to this race, didn't have a great qualifying effort, but he's just chugged along here, and he's recovered nicely after that spin earlier. He's currently in 10th place. He has no penalties to his name, and I think he's going to try and pull out those tires to the end of this race. So it should be interesting to keep an eye on Dustin here in the final laps, as he tries to bring it home to get his first points-paying finish of the season. Not really much action going on out on track, though. Kyle is catching Greg. We're just playing the waiting game for when some of these leaders are going to come into the pits. We might see Kevin come in this lap. It does look like he's going to come in, so Kevin in True North Racing, I would imagine we're going to see him fit the softs, no doubt about it here.
Yeah, he comes in, I think we'll see softs from him. Anthony stays out another lap. As Adam sets the fastest lap, but looking at that gap, he's not really finding the time that he needs to.
No. The one thing that he will have going his way is that Joseph on those hards will probably be pretty slow by the end of this race, but yeah, still, it's going to take a lot of work from Adam if he's going to try and catch Joseph here in the final laps. Kevin coming out just behind Greg here. Kevin on those fresh softs, he should be able to make quick and easy work of Greg. I think we're going to see a battle here between Kevin and Kyle before the end of this one. They're currently separated by about 5 seconds. Kevin coming out on those fresh soft tires, so he is going to be absolutely lightning quick here. And with Kyle, he is on fresh mediums, but still not going to have quite the pace that Kevin will on those softs. They're only separated right now by about 5 seconds. About 6 seconds, sorry. But as Kevin is looking to get past Greg here, maybe getting a little... He's got to make sure he remains patient, but I guess eager at the same time. Greg cuts to the inside, and it looks like he's just going to let him by.
Yeah, not much. We got to remember that Greg's struggling with that ERS again.
Oh, Anthony was in the pits.
So we're going to have a really good battle for this final podium spot. Right now, Carlos is sitting in position for it. But yeah, you've got Kyle, Kevin. Ooh, we got a yellow flag, sector 3.
I think that was
Josh getting out of the way.
Yeah, I believe you're right there. Yeah, you're definitely.
So yeah, we've got. Yeah, I think this is going to be a 3-way battle. Kyle and Kevin, like you said, on fresher tires, softer compounds. Carlos is going to have to watch, but can he hold them off?
Yeah, 7-lap-old hards, so it's not like those hards are going to be super slow or anything. I think that would certainly play into Carlos's favor, or play to his side in the final remaining laps. And 4.5 seconds is about the gap. Kevin really putting the pressure on Kyle right now, though. And Kevin has absolutely bolted up here. I did not think that Kevin was going to catch him this quick.
Yeah, those fresh softs towards the end of this race gotta feel really good. See, oh, you just look at the runoff. Not really a contest.
No, not a contest at all. Those fresh softs versus the fresh mediums. Although they're both fairly fresh, it's going to be tricky as Kyle virtually has no ERS to even build a... Oh, Red Bull around in Sector 3, but they're back going. Yeah, Kyle doesn't really have the ERS to build a push back up. As Jaden is in the pits in that Haas. He's going to fit the softs. So there's also going to be a race for that fastest lap of the race here as things wind down here. Lots of guys on the softs. As Kevin is reeling in his Racing Point teammate right now. Carlos currently sitting in P3. This is going to be the battle that we were highlighting here to keep an eye on as the race winds down. 6 laps to go. And with 6 laps to go, Adam is not catching Joseph at the pace that he needs to be. 14 seconds separate the drivers right now, and I think the only way that Adam might have a shot would be Klaus making a mistake or a safety car, as there is a Renault off in Sector 3. That is Biko. He gets it back going in the right direction. Oh, and he's lost it again. Those lightning hot tires. As there's a Red Bull coming around the corner. Uh-oh. Whoa.
That got a little...
That was a pass for position, and oh no, Biko's doing donuts. Buddy, no. No, don't go into the wall. Oh, the yellow... Oh, back out in front of somebody. Oh my goodness. My lord.
He's finally got it going.
Biko's doing his best Bill impersonation in that Renault, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure that's not Bill?
Yeah. It is. I mean, the name starts with a B. It just, you know, could be Bill. But no virtual safety car or anything like that, as Kevin is still reeling in his teammate. Michael Pollan giving us a Super Bowl update here. It's 14-6 bucks in the second quarter. I look at that and I think, Mike, aren't you supposed to be racing tonight? But you know what? We'll we will cut you some slack here, Mike. We know it's Super Bowl night, and we're understanding, so we'll let you have the night off, I suppose.
Are we understanding?
I'm not understanding. You know, I'd love to see Mike out here racing, but you know, I understand we are the U.S. regional. If there is anywhere that should maybe have a little bit of leniency towards that, then I guess we'll give it to him. But don't let it happen again there, Mike. You know, we know the Super Bowl only happens once a year, but I know. Well, Mike will be back here racing with us, and I'm excited to see what kind of pace he's going to be able to put out there on the as next week. Where the heck are we heading next week? Is it China?
China.
Yep. China. Man, another one of the power tracks. China. Low downforce.
Yeah, we're going to China, Greg. Better hope that he doesn't have this ERS glitch again, because he's going to be in big trouble going down that long back straightaway. Yeah, Anthony just kind of passed him like he was standing still, so Mr. Drink Alchemy up in a P6.
Yeah, that Mercedes.
And he set his sights on P5.
Yeah, 4.5 seconds back of Kyle. And Anthony's catching him quick, but we'll see if he put enough Drink Alchemy in that car to be able to catch him. We'll see. This is the true test, Anthony, if there is any sort of letdown towards the end of the race. We don't want any crash. Any crash that you might experience from some other beverages. So see if it keeps you sharp for the whole race. We can confirm that Mr. Polish Sniper will be in China next week. He's making the trip across the ocean, so glad to hear that.
Oh, here comes Kevin down the inside of his teammate.
Yep.
Not really anything his teammate could do.
No. His teammate did the best that he could on that one-stop strategy. Yellow flag in Sector 2. That is for Biko, I think.
I think I saw...
Or was it...
Aaron Bowen had a little bit of it on.
Goodness me. Biko looks like he's racing on ice.
The lead.
And that's
Yeah,
that's definitely not something that Joseph wanted to see coming up in front of him. It's the last thing he wanted to see.
and Patrick picks up the penalty. That's 6 seconds for him. Luckily, I don't think that's gonna make too big of a difference.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, I'm actually very impressed. I must say, I mentioned it earlier this race, but not very many drivers picking up penalties here. I mean, it's not like this track is not technical or anything at all. Like, there's opportunities for you to go wide and extend the track a little bit, and we haven't really seen that much, that many penalties. So, shout out to the drivers, and as they've done a good job keeping her between the white lines here tonight.
Yeah, this was last week. Sunday 7 was probably our cleanest race of the weekend, and I don't know. I think they have the potential to do it again, considering what we saw last week in our other divisions. So I know you were a part of one, I was a part of the other.
Yep.
We both watched the ones that we were a part of. So yeah, we talked about it last week, but really, really good to see this division come in and these guys race clean, hard, and yeah, just at the end of the day, fair. Everybody's enjoying it. So.
Yeah, I think this the way that this division is shaping up is it sure looks like there is going to be a tier split difference between the drivers. We kind of have 3 tiers of drivers in here. We have the guys that are running at the front. You know, your Joseph, your Adam, Kevin. Even I would bulk into that. Those guys really seem to be sort of a step above, a notch above the pace of what we've seen from some of the others thus far. But your midfield battle, I mean, it's a complete toss-up. It seems to be every week. Virtually anybody now that's running in that midfield, and then even as you go further back in the field, you know, you see some guys that they might be newer to some of the F1 games. I know some of them, this is their first league that they've joined. They're just trying to go out there and have a good time, run some laps, and try to get build up that consistency this season. So it's going to be fun to see those guys build their way up and catch up with the midfield as the season goes on, and hopefully they play it out in the long run here. So you mentioned it here with as we head into 2 laps to go, Anthony is 2.5 seconds behind Kyle here as there's a yellow flag in sector 2. That's a Williams, and that was actually Joseph that had a moment there. Joseph had a moment coming out of turn 10, I believe, and he has lost considerable time to Adam right now, sitting in P2. I don't think it's enough to really worry him too much, but might be something to keep an eye on here as he's about to start the final lap.
They still got that 8-second gap. I don't think he'll blow an 8-second lead in 1 lap unless something major happens.
Yeah.
He crosses the line for the final lap.
Yeah, he does cross the line to start the final lap of the race. Taking a quick peek at the penalty situation, it doesn't really look like penalties will come into play much amongst the finishing positions of these drivers. The gaps are fairly wide, and that's probably largely due to the varying tire strategies that we've seen play out here tonight. Fastest lap of the race currently sitting with Anthony as there's a yellow flag for a Renault in Sector 1. That is Biko again. And there's a battle for the final podium spot is coming up on them right now. So currently Anthony sitting with the fastest lap of the race. And doesn't look like he's going to have enough time to track down P5. But still a nice run there from Anthony. But for Joseph, he has lost some serious pace. Those hards have dropped off considerably.
That gap is coming down.
It is a good thing
very
that,
quick.
you know, if there was one more lap in this race, then, I mean, how often do you think we find ourselves saying that? Like, if there was only one more lap. But, man, I think if there was one more lap in this race, then this could be quite the ending.
Yeah, that's the saying of a lot of people who race in any specific category as if, I had that one more lap, but
As we see Joseph come out of the final corner, he is going to cross the finish line to win for a second straight week here in Bahrain. 5 seconds behind him, you will see Adam cross the finish line. In P3, we are going to see a Racing Point cross the line. It is going to be Kevin Hutchison, True North Racing. As we see the Haas's duking it out here for position on the final lap. Carlos will cross the line P4. Kyle comes up just behind him in P5. Anthony pulls up P6. Greg, coming out of the final corner right now, will cross the line to get P7. Jaden and his teammate Patrick are going to bring those Haas's home in P8 and P9 respectively. As I also think Dustin had a moment here late. As Jaden will cross the line for P8, Patrick will cross the line for P9. Dustin is going to hang on and run a penalty-free race to likely bring it home here in P10 for the final point, but still a corner to go here for Dustin. Big congratulations to Dustin. A gutsy drive here on a race that he is commemorating to his father, or his late grandfather, pardon me. Of course, we did the little piece on him earlier in the session. Kenny brings it home P11. I think Aaron Bolin actually might have jumped Josh for P12. But Mike, maybe not a super thrilling race as we see Carlos pick up driver of the day. But it certainly was a race that it had some good moments there, and definitely some interesting strategy play out.
yeah, these guys for a second week running have impressed us with how well the race has gone and how competitive and interesting it's been. It's been pretty compelling to watch these guys go out there and make a challenge for the win. Joseph obviously comes out on top for 2 weeks in a row, but it looked like Adam was going to be the favorite for a little bit early on in the race. Maybe questionable pit call. I'm sure we could ask him about that, but even still, good recovery for him. I think he ended up finishing 10th at Australia after an incident that he had early on. So good recovery. I'm sure we'll see a lot from him this season.
Yeah, I think lots of positives to take out of it for those drivers. Mike, do you have the top 3 here to be able to send them party invites?
Ooh, I don't know if I do.
Okay, worst comes to worst, I can send them invites, but hopefully we'll be able to get the top 3 to join the party chat here. Just let me know if you want me to fire them an invite.
Nah, I got your back.
Alrighty. So as we just wait to get the interviews in, I think it's worth looking forward a bit to our next race that's going to be taking place 1 week from now in lovely China. Of course, like we said, it's another high-speed racetrack. As I'm sure the drivers will be excited to head there, get another one under their belts. The first 2 races may have not gone exactly the way that everybody would have liked, but regardless, as we just wait for some of the drivers. Oh, we have our race Victor that has joined in, our second place driver as well. We'll give Kevin a moment here to see if he's going to join the party here. But Mike, overall, a wrap up of Bahrain. Is this kind of what you expected to see here tonight?
Not exactly what I was expecting. We talked about it before, but I didn't think either of us expected to see that huge variation in strategy. That BSC early kind of opened the window for a few of those guys. We even saw Carlos starting on the medium, doing something completely different and leading the race for a little bit. So we had a lot of ups and downs, and for a certain point, we didn't know what was going on. So, yeah, overall, great to see.
Yeah. And as we wait for Kevin to join in here, I think we can probably get the interviews rolling here with our second place finisher here tonight in the Drink Alchemy victory lane. So that is, of course, Adam Texticles. Adam, it was certainly an interesting race that we saw out there from you. We saw that you had great pace there in qualifying, and pulled out a very a strong lap, but actually a very strong lap. Pardon me, as he of course picked up pole. But what were your thoughts going? What was going through your head first when that virtual came out, and then what was the factor that convinced you to go for the two-stop strategy?
Well, for the two-stop strategy, honestly, didn't know that the one stop was possible, starting on the softs in the top 10. So I took it when we made our first stops. I saw Klaus go onto the hard tire, so I thought he'd go onto the softs to end the race, because my initial thoughts were soft, medium, medium. But then he did soft, hard, so I'm like, okay, he's probably going to go soft, hard, soft. But he really extended those hards, and I kind of want to know what his tire percentage was at the end of the race. I couldn't believe it that he was so fast even.
I was sitting at 80.
Oh my god.
My God.
You forced me to pit.
Yeah, like at the on like the turnover when I was making my second pit stop, he was lapping faster than me, so I feel like I had to stop. And that was basically my race, but I'm happy with second, considering the strategy that Klaus used.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was a race where we saw mixed strategies up and down the grid. But Adam, when you had committed to that two-stop strategy, and you know where you were sitting when you came out of that after that second pit stop, were you trying in that last stint? Were you just trying to keep things nice and clean? Hit your marks, or were you pushing really hard to try and maybe catch Joseph before the end of this race? Or did you see the gap? I think it was about 18 or 19 seconds. Or did you see that and say, heck, you know what, I should kick back, play this safe, I have second place wrapped up here?
I think it was 18 and a half when I stopped, and I think there was about 11 laps left in the race, but Joseph's pace, like on the hards during my second pit stop there, I think he was still moving really, really well. So then for like my pace wise, I was pushing like really, really hard and hoping to get to like a maybe 3-second gap by the end of the race, just in case he got a penalty on the last lap, puncture, or if he ended up spinning off the track. So during those like final 3 laps when he was starting to really struggle, I think the gap was come down by, I think it was 1.5 around on like the last 2 laps. So I was hoping that he was gonna get a puncture or spin somehow with that 80% tire wear.
Yeah, that was that would have been about all that you would have been able to. That would have been your only hope there, as we were talking about it on that last lap. But maybe if there was one more lap left in this race, then you might have been able to catch him on sheer pace. But Adam, a great run here today, bringing it home in P2. Some great points for you and the team. So a big congratulations to you. I'll turn it over to Mike now. Mike, is there anything that you want to add for Adam?
Congratulations, number one. Good redemption for you after last week. Unfortunate to see what happened to you. Just really, really quick, I want to make 100% sure that we're getting the pronunciation on the last name correctly. I'm sure you get it a lot. I think we're saying it right because we got a little help from somebody who are good with the last names, but just to be 100% sure.
All right.
We say Kowalczykowski.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. See, Stu, we got it.
Yeah, well, you got it. I don't got it yet. I mean, you know what? That'll be my goal for next week as we head to China. Adam, I mean, a big congratulations. Adam Kowalczykowski, a big congratulations on your P2 finish here today. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you more here as the season runs on.
Yeah, thank you very much. Look forward to the rest of the season.
Alrighty, so we will now head over to our race victor here today. That is a name that is a little bit easier to pronounce, not gonna lie. And that would be Joseph here, Klaus, Florida. So, man, it two for two as we start this Sunday league up, the Sunday at 7 league up. First two league races that you've participated in, and both of them have been victories here. This one maybe had a little bit more of a question mark behind it than last week in Australia, but you didn't quite get your final flying lap in there, invalidating on your last attempt at qualifying. But you carried a unique strategy through the race here, and it wound up just barely paying off for you there. We noticed that those tires, they must have been screaming at you at the end of this race. But overall, walk us through your victorious Bahrain Grand Prix weekend.
So qualifying did not go how I wanted it to. I only got one lap in, and it was way off my PB. So I started in P3, a couple laps in, past Stickles. I think he crashed out behind me. I didn't even catch that. And around, I think, lap 8, Testicles went to pit. And so I didn't want to get undercut, so I pitted as well. And I thought he was going for the one stop, which was a bit early to pit, but I just followed him in. And I was trying to catch him after we got out the pits, and he was just pulling away, and I wanted to get in the DRS, but I was 2-3 seconds off. And like about 2 laps after that, I actually realized he was on the mediums. So then I was pushing 100% at that point. So then I kind of let off a little bit because I knew that he had a pit, and I was just praying there was no safety car because I knew I'd be screwed if there was a safety car. So I pitted about 2 laps earlier than I wanted to, so I was like crawling to the finish line on 80%, which I think it's 80% is where it punctures, where it starts to where there's a chance, of puncture.
Yeah, it's definitely you're deep in the danger zone. I think when they cross over to 80%, that's definitely an uneasy feeling. Now in those last couple of laps, we saw that the gap between you and Adam was coming down considerably. I think especially that second last lap.
Yes.
Now it looked like, did you maybe have a moment there coming out of turn 10, right at the end there?
Turn 10.
It really seemed like you lost almost 2 seconds.
I don't think so.
Maybe.
So the second to last lap, I was doing like quick math in my head with the percentages, and I was like, it's gonna be crossing over 80 right before I finish, and it's either 75 or 80%, where there's a chance of, after that, it's a chance of puncture. So I was trying to keep it below 80 because there's no way I was gonna get 75. So I was just letting off a lot in the corners because I saw I had a couple seconds. So I think I lost like 3-4 seconds in that second to last in the last lap.
Oof.
But I don't think I had a moment where I almost lost it. Maybe I did. I don't remember.
Yeah, regardless, that is definitely getting into scary territory there. But the tires, they all held up. None of them. You weren't driving the Mercedes, so you weren't going to get a Lewis Hamilton moment. But good to see. A very solid victory here for you today, and a big congratulations to you on that. Mike, do you have anything that you want to add for Joseph?
Yeah, we admittedly we saw a lot more 2-stop strategies than we thought we would. Obviously, I think you made the right call with your 1-stop, but throughout the week, did you try that 2-stop, or did it ever cross your mind as maybe this might be the strategy to go to? So you were straight 1-stop.
Yeah, I was practicing the 1-stop the whole week.
Interesting. That's it's something to take away for me as I'm about to go racing.
Take notes for that for tomorrow.
Yeah, I go racing in 35 minutes, and I don't know.
All I'll say is do not pit on lap 8 because I thought Testicles was, like I said, was going on the hard, so I just followed him in, and then he was on mediums, and it kind of screwed me over at the end. But my target lap was 10.
Interesting. Okay, well I'm taking notes here as we're doing this, so I'll write that down and do some last minute figuring out of what I want my strategy to be here coming up. But man, a big congratulations, 2nd victory in a row. You're going for 3 in a row next week when we head to China. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that as we head into China? You like your chances?
Yeah, I'm liking my chances. Australia and Bahrain, just I don't know. Something about them, I hate the tracks. So China, I feel a little more comfortable on.
Oh, that's
It just
scary.
flows better for me.
Mike, does this give off sort of like Honda-esque feels? Sunday night last year, it's a Williams again, and
It may be. I don't know. It may be.
yeah, we'll have to wait and see as the season runs on. But again, man, a big congratulations on your victory here today, and if this continues, we'll definitely be talking to you next week.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, so Mike, we wrap up here. We wrap up in Bahrain. We get ready to go to China. It's should be a good race there as well as another power tracks. Again, some decent passing opportunities there. It can get a little bit DRS trainy at times, but I think based on what we've seen here from the Sunday night guys, and I wonder if you'll agree with me that I think the power zones that are there are going to lead to just some good racing.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some great racing. These first 2 weeks have been phenomenal with these guys. Again, I'm going to keep harping on it, but what a pleasant surprise to have this group of guys come in and just impress us right out the gates. So looking forward to China. Thankfully, we removed Vietnam, so we don't got to worry about that track. I believe Vietnam would have been next if we hadn't removed that.
Disgusting.
I could be wrong on that, but either way, just the fact that we don't have to worry about that track is good. So, yeah, looking forward to China.
Yeah, looking forward to China. So as we look ahead to China, though, there's still racing to be had beforehand. Coming up in about 30 minutes' time, we are going to have the Sunday night 9 o'clock U.S. Regionals action right here from Bahrain. So make sure to stick around for that. Go grab your popcorn, go grab a beer, and tune in for some of that. Actually, don't grab a beer, grab a drink alchemy, because you are going to want your mind to be sharp for that race. You don't want to miss any of the action there. Tomorrow night, the Monday night division goes to Bahrain as well. And then later on in the week, we do... Oh, hello. Later on in the week, we do have we have the European regionals as well that are going to be in Bahrain, but we are also going to have some F2 Nationals action right in the lead up to the Nationals on Saturday afternoon / Sunday evening or Sunday morning, depending on where you are located in the world. So going to be great to watch that. But before we wrap things up here, we actually got our final podium sitter to come into the chat. That is Kevin, True North Racing. Kevin, do you have us?
Yes, I do. I apologize. I thought I was waiting for an invite.
Oh, no, waiting for an invite that you already had, but that is A-okay. I'm glad that you were able to join in and have a quick word with us here. So, a bit of an interesting race for you here today. I just can't quite remember off the top of my head where you started. You started P5 here, so picked up a couple of positions to finish where you are. And a nice run from you here today. You had some good battles out on track. You had one there late with your teammate Carlos at the end of that one. You had to get past Kyle, I believe, shortly before that. So a really nice, clean final stint from you, and it brings you home in P3. Walk us through your Bahrain Grand Prix.
Yeah, no, definitely an exciting race on my end. A little bit of a redemption from the strategy mishap from last week. But yeah, no, it was a great race. Huge shout out to Carlos, my teammate, coming in fourth from P13th. I wanted to do the medium hard strategy too, but got a little bit of a bad start in qualifying, so switched to softs. Then it's just an exciting race with some clean overtakes, and I think it was just a clean race all around.
Yeah. Now, one of the unique sort of strategy bits that, to be completely honest, Mike and myself, we weren't really expecting to see that much of this race was the two-stop tire strategy, and you were one of the drivers that made the most of that. What was your thought process behind the two-stop strategy, and did you ever consider doing a one-stop at all?
Definitely considered it, but with the practice we did this week, I just wasn't getting very good tire life in Bahrain. So for me, the one stop had to be medium hard. I don't know how Klaus made the soft hard work. Huge props to him. He's got just unbelievable pace up there. But yeah, so I knew I was going to do the 2-stop as soon as I went with softs, but I wanted to end with softs just because I knew I'd have that little bit of an extra pace, which I needed. And thankfully I did to get by those few guys.
Yeah, you certainly did have the pace there. We were keeping an eye on you in that final stint, and how you were getting on out there. But Mike, is there anything that you want to add here for Kevin?
Yeah, next week we head to China. Another tricky track to set up for, where it is a power circuit, but there's also a lot of points where you want that good downforce, strong carb, a lot of rear grip. So what is this week of practice going to look like for you in terms of setting up for the race, and then what are your expectations heading into next Sunday?
Well, hopefully very similar to this week, because typically I'm not very good at Bahrain. It's one of my weaker tracks. But it's a huge testament to this league and group of racers setting up practice sessions throughout the week. And you guys, I managed to shave, second and a half, 2 seconds off my typical pace at Bahrain. So I'm hoping to do the same with China, because it's such a great group of guys, being able to bounce ideas back and forth and try new strategies, new setups. And, it's just fun at the end of the day.
Hey, that's really what we love to hear. Glad to hear that you're having a good time, and not only are you having a good time, you're having some good results to go along with it. So a big congratulations here on your 3rd place finish today, Kevin. And hopefully we'll be talking to you in the weeks to come.
Great, thank you so much.
Alrighty, Mike. So I think now we will be able to properly wrap up this broadcast. It's been a good race here in Bahrain, and as we mentioned, there's still plenty of racing to go, still plenty of racing left to be done here throughout the rest of this week, so make sure that you tune in for all of that. On behalf of Mike and myself, thank you for tuning in to the Transnation Esports powered by Drink Alchemy US regional running here of the Sunday night 7 o'clock division. On behalf of Mike and myself, we will talk to you next week.